Before heading into the hospital, I glanced at one of those online lists detailing levels of loneliness. Right at the top, the supposedly ultimate level of solitude, undergoing surgery alone. Here I am, living that reality. Waiting. Alone. General anesthesia requires family consent, a signature on a form. I'd messaged my wife, Clara, 2 days ago. This morning, just hours before the procedure, she finally replied, a curt refusal. She was flying to London for a magazine cover shoot, she said. Told me to figure something out myself. Clara Gu, my wife, a singer with a modicum of fame, gradually gaining traction over the past couple of years. 3 years ago, she wanted to focus on her career, requested a secret marriage. I agreed. 2 years ago, she asked me to step back from my own pursuits, to manage her career full-time from behind the scenes. I agreed. 1 year ago, she claimed she was too busy. We argued. We ended up living apart. 30 minutes until surgery. A notification pops up on my phone. It's from a paparazzo. 3 voice messages and a photo. I tap the image to enlarge it. The man in the picture is boyish, young. The woman leans against him like a trusting bird. Her smile is warm as the afternoon sun. It's a simple embrace, yet it radiates an intimacy that screams volumes, suggesting chapters of unspoken affection. My fingers swipe across the screen, opening my chat history with Clara. Me. Clara, surgery tomorrow. Can you come sign a consent form? Sent on the evening of October 5th. Her reply arrived this morning, October 7th. Wife, flying to London for work shortly. You'll have to figure it out. Me. When will you be back? Silence. No further response. And then, this. Captured by a paparazzo's lens, locked in a tender embrace with her little milk dog, the current term for a younger male companion. Switching back to the paparazzo's chat, I play the voice messages. His tone is smug, laced with schadenfreude. Mr. Lin, you wouldn't want this little scandal hitting the trending topics tomorrow, would you? Cultivating that innocent, single image, while secretly juggling partners like hot potatoes. Think about it. Your artist's career is just taking off. Wouldn't it be a shame if it all came crashing down? I take a deep breath, the chills seeming to seep into my bones. My fingertips, icy, tap out a few words. Name your price. 3 short messages later, my bank account is lighter by 6 figures. Wheeled into the pre-op area, I notice other patients surrounded by family, fussing over them with worried whispers and warm touches. Me? Just lying here. Alone. As the anesthesiologist administers the medication, a wry thought crosses my mind. You don't need much. I'm already numb. I wake the next day surrounded by doctors. Relief washes over their faces as my eyes flutter open. He was out for over 3 hours. Scared us half to death. The young anesthesiologist looks close to tears, her eyes red-rimmed. Dr. Zoe Ruan, the young woman who administered my anesthesia. If Clara Gu was like a distant, unattainable star, cool, proud, and aloof, then Zoe was a wild rose in a white coat. Naive yet bold, shy but proactive, almost disarmingly earnest. I encountered her a few times during my hospital stay. One moment, I'd catch her secretly wiping away tears in a quiet corner. The next, she'd be squaring her shoulders, eyes still faintly red, changing into scrubs and heading back into surgery. Once, passing an operating room, I saw her slumped against the wall, fast asleep after what must have been a grueling 10-hour shift. The hospital air conditioning was always frigid. On impulse, I draped my coat over her sleeping form. The gentle movement startled her awake. Her eyes, wide and clear, fixed on me instantly. It reminded me vividly of the ragdoll kitten I used to have. Those sapphire eyes, watching you with complete, unwavering focus. In that moment, Zoe looked like that kitten spotting prey, her gaze bright, undisguised desire flickering within. Mr. Lin, she'd asked directly, her voice soft but clear. Could I possibly get your contact information? Her phone was already out, screen ready for a QR code scan before the words fully left her mouth. A faint smile touched my lips. I'm married, I replied gently. Although things aren't great right now. Her gaze instantly dimmed, eyelids drooping slightly, letting out a small, disappointed hum. I found her reaction incredibly endearing. Feigning regret, I sighed dramatically. Ah, what a shame. We're about to start divorce proceedings. Her head snapped up, eyes wide and sparkling again. For a fleeting second, I could almost imagine a fluffy tail wagging enthusiastically behind her. Discharge came a week later. Mr. Lin, my driver mentioned casually as we pulled away from the hospital. Ms. Gu is at the X Bar tonight. It's a reunion for your old Film Academy classmates. Mostly industry people. X Bar was known for its strict privacy, a favorite haunt for celebrities wanting to unwind away from prying lenses. I gave a non-committal grunt. Suddenly, A tapping sound on the window. Mr. Lin, could I trouble you for a ride? Zoe Ruan stood there, holding a thermos flask. Where are you headed? A bar, I answered honestly. Her expression shifted dramatically. A bar? Look, I know life is short, but you don't need to take that kind of shortcut, do you? I was momentarily speechless at her assumption. Before I could clarify, Zoe made up her mind. I'm coming too. As your doctor, I need to keep an eye on you. Pushing open the door to the private room felt like stepping into a scene already in progress. Clara seemed to have lost another round of whatever game they were playing. She tilted her head back, elegantly tapping her own lips with a slender finger, signaling the young man beside her, Leo Yuan, to kiss her. The gesture was painfully familiar. Back when Clara faced career setbacks, when she was too upset to talk, she'd curl up in my arms, bury her face in my neck, nuzzle softly, and then tap. Her lips just like that. I would lean down and kiss her, two wounded animals licking each other's wounds, finding warmth in the cold, lonely nights. Standing here now, watching her offer that same intimacy to someone else, a profound chill settled over me. How did we get here? We used to rely on each other, love each other so fiercely. However long I stood there, frozen in the doorway, that's how long the kiss lasted, slow, deep, lingering. When Clara finally noticed me, a flicker of panic crossed her eyes before being quickly masked. Hey, everyone. Look who's here. Mr. Lin, an acquaintance, another industry professional, pulled me into the room with an overly enthusiastic, fawning grin. Let me introduce you all. Ethan Lin, Vice President of Celestial Entertainment. Our talented rising star, Clara Gu, is signed with them. Clara stood up, but her movement faltered slightly as she noticed Zoe beside me. A dangerous, displeased glint entered her eyes. Zoe, however, met her gaze directly, unflinching, like a fearless young calf, as the saying goes. That was my only assessment. The friend swirled his drink. Heard you haven't been well, Mr. Lin. Just discharged today, right? Need to take it easy. At the word discharged, Clara visibly stiffened, then offered a brittle smile. Oh, Mr. Lin was discharged today? If I'd known, I would have sent a fruit basket. Been so swamped with the cover shoot, completely lost track of time. The whole world knew I was hospitalized. Except my wife. A humorless chuckle escaped me. Oh, and what's the theme for your next cover, Miss Gu? Scandalous love affair, perhaps? Clara's eyes widened in shock. Don't tease Clara, Mr. Lin. Leo Yuan interjected smoothly, sliding an arm around her waist, ignoring her subtle attempt to shrug him off, asserting his claim with practiced, boyish possessiveness. She's very shy. My words dripped with sarcasm. Shy? You mean, the kind of shy where she fights with her boyfriend on Valentine's Day, but doesn't dare tell her husband about it. Seeing my pointed remarks hit their mark, Clara flushed, resorting to anger, her default defense when cornered. Mr. Lin, bringing a sweet young thing to a nightclub late at night doesn't exactly paint you as a pillar of propriety, does it? I shrugged lightly. But I never claimed to be particularly proper, did I? The atmosphere grew tense. Another classmate broke the silence with forced joviality. Clara, you and Leo are amazing at keeping secrets. If we hadn't seen you together tonight, who would have guessed the campus belle and the handsome junior would make such a perfect match? Someone else chimed in. Seriously, even notorious paparazzi like Double Dog haven't caught a whiff of scandal. Is something official coming soon? At this, I subtly lifted my gaze. In the dim, flickering lights of the bar, I saw the smile bloom on Leo Yuan's lips. Years in the business world had taught me to read smiles like that. It screamed provocation. Recalling the intimate video the paparazzo sent earlier, I remembered freezing a frame. In it, Leo was looking directly at the hidden camera. He knew they were being filmed. He wanted me to see this. Whatever. I shifted my gaze away, indifferent except for a cold, humorless smile playing on my lips. There was no heartache. My heart had stopped beating for her long ago, during countless sleepless nights. Clara Gu's betrayals, her casual disregard disguised as harmless flirtations, had ground down whatever affection remained. Who she was with now meant nothing to me. Just don't let her mess get on my clothes. Talk of something official prompted another woman to jump in. Honestly, you people only think about marriage. Clara is a career woman. Her new album has a top-tier producer, lyrics by the legendary Old Master Harrison. Getting those heavyweights involved isn't easy. The crowd erupted in agreement. Exactly. So jealous. Successful in both career and love. And Leo's so young. You two have a long, bright future ahead. Clara basked in the flattery, leaning back languidly against the sofa, a coy smile playing on her lips. Yes, the little milk dog was young. And I, with my recent health scare, was just baggage. Any sensible person would choose to climb higher, even if it meant stepping on my metaphorical corpse. Especially Clara. The thought was so absurdly bleak it made me want to laugh. I reached for a glass. Instantly, warm fingers covered mine. The touch startled me, making me realize just how cold my own hands had become. "You were just discharged today," Zoe reminded me gently. I cleared my throat. "Just pretending. Promise I won't drink." She raised an eyebrow skeptically. "I don't believe you. Drinking is what ruined your stomach in the first place." She was right. My stomach lining was shredded from years of competitive drinking, downing bottles of hard liquor to secure top production teams for Clara, enduring endless rounds night after night to win promotional opportunities from influential figures. Anything that could be settled at the drinking table, I settled with alcohol. What couldn't, I settled with sheer grit. I used to believe dedication would be rewarded, that unwavering companionship would eventually earn a backward glance. Only now did I grasp the cruel truth. Genuine affection is often destined to be trampled underfoot. Somehow, the gathering devolved into a game of truth or dare. Clara lost. The gleeful crowd demanded she down 3 shots and kiss Leo again. She boldly tipped a bottle of whiskey to her lips, draining a significant amount, then sealed the final mouthful against Leo's lips, transferring it intimately. Droplets spilled from the corners of their mouths, glistening under the pulsating lights. The onlookers cheered wildly. I remembered countless dinners where Clara would feign helplessness, claiming she couldn't handle alcohol. I'd play my part, shielding her, downing drink after drink on her behalf. Now, watching her handle the bottle like a seasoned pro, I realized she could probably outdrink me any day. The crowd roared its approval. Flushed with excitement, Clara glanced my way, a slight, challenging tilt to her chin. She expected the old reaction, jealousy bordering on fury at the slightest provocation. I offered a bland smile in return. "Jealousy? Sorry, my stomach's delicate. Can't handle anything sour." The next round felt deliberately targeted. I lost to Clara. She smirked, picking up a heavy glass tumbler filled with amber liquid and clinking ice. The refracted light hit my eyes. "Mr. Lin, 3 shots." The crowd chanted, "Penalty, penalty." Leo, ever eager to stir the pot, added fuel to the fire. "3 shots isn't enough." Clara just chugged from the bottle. Since Mr. Lin brought someone too, maybe they should kiss as well. At this, Clara's smile vanished. She shot Leo a warning glare. Undeterred, he started chanting, "Kiss, kiss, kiss." Habit made me reach for the glass. Again, Zoe's hand stopped mine. "He can't drink." Her voice was soft but firm. Leo sneered. "Wow, Mr. Lin, didn't realize you were such a party pooper." "I'll drink for him." Zoe's resolve was clear. Then, looking endearingly lost, she allowed the others to pour her drink after drink. 3 shots down, the tips of her ears flushed crimson. A strange warmth stirred within me. It had always been me shielding others, taking the hits. Now, here was this gentle young woman, standing before me with quiet courage, deflecting the storm on my behalf. As far as I knew, Zoe came from a good background, highly educated, spending most of her recent years immersed in studies. She likely had zero exposure to the murky underbelly of society, the superficially glamorous but often sordid world of industry drinking games. She didn't understand the rules, that these sharks didn't care if you could actually handle the alcohol, they were testing submission. Just as I moved to take the glass from her, she leaned closer. Her eyes, dark and deep, seemed to hold intricate vines, drawing me in, captivating. "Ethan," she whispered, her voice husky, "can I kiss you?" This proper, well-raised young woman, who had always maintained a respectful distance, always addressing me formally as Mr. Lin. Now, emboldened by alcohol, she used my first name. She held my hand. Fate, perhaps. A kiss, light as a feather, landed not on my lips, but on the sensitive skin of my throat, just above my Adam's apple. Her lips felt impossibly soft, like clouds. "Sir," she murmured after the butterfly-like touch, her voice carrying a hint of a southern accent, warm and incredibly alluring. Mixed with the scent of alcohol, it was intoxicating. My throat tightened. "Sir" held so many potential meanings, polite, intimate. Realizing she'd missed her target, Zoe frowned slightly, her alcohol-muddled brain urging her to try again. Her warm body pressed closer. In that moment, something flickered within my dormant heart. A spark in the ashes. The sensation of near death and sudden revival, combined with the heat of her impending kiss, was unexpectedly addictive. Crash. The sound of shattering glass ripped through the air. Clara had abruptly stood up, knocking over several glasses in her haste. The charged atmosphere dissipated instantly. "Don't drink anymore," I said softly, my voice like soothing a child, tapping a finger gently on the tip of Zoe's nose. If I don't drink, you have to, she insisted stubbornly. Doctor's orders. I tried reasoning. I said I wouldn't and I won't. Don't you trust me? Zoe's slender, pale hand tightened on my arm, her head swimming. That hand, you were reaching for the glass just now. Yes, I was reaching for the glass, I admitted. But not necessarily to drink. She looked confused. Then what were you going to do? Right. What was I going to do? I stood up and walked towards Liu Yuan. Clara, slow on the uptake, only realized my intention as I drew close, instinctively raising a hand as if to shield him. I calmly poured the entire contents of my glass over Leo's head. My voice was ice. Meddler. Ignoring Clara's face, which had turned thunderously black, I scooped Zoe up into my arms and carried her out of the bar, leaving stunned silence in our wake. After dropping Zoe off at her staff dormitory, her roommate greeted me with suspiciously bright eyes and a knowing smile. Zoe normally doesn't touch a drop of alcohol. Last time some guy tried to take her to a bar on a date, she blocked him the next day. Great, I thought. Now she's going to block me. Back at the apartment, Clara emerged from the bathroom, wrapped in a towel. Tonight, she had undoubtedly been the star of the party, cascading waves. In her hair, a daring off-the-shoulder red dress revealing exquisitely sculpted collarbones, her voice uniquely husky and captivating. A siren. Now, the warm bathroom light made her skin look like luminous jade. Barefoot on the damp floor, the towel loosely draped around her stunning figure. I walked past without a glance. Even a common wildflower from the roadside can catch your eye now. She blocked my path, her tone dripping with sarcasm. I returned fire. No matter how many flowers I pick, I doubt I play the field as widely as you do. How many has it been now? Thanks to popular dramas, May-December romances with younger men were all the rage. Who wouldn't be charmed by a sunny, youthful admirer? A shadow darkened Clara's eyes. What, how many? He's just a friend I met on a business trip to London. Things are more relaxed overseas. Honestly, Ethan, the old empire fell ages ago. Can't you be a little more open-minded? She stepped closer, winding her arms around my waist, resting her cheek against my chest. The towel slipped. She stood naked before me. The rule, avert your eyes from impropriety, hardly seemed applicable between us anymore. Steam clouded the air. Involuntarily, my hand lifted, rough fingertips brushing the nape of her neck. She shivered. After years together, I knew her sensitive spots. And there they were. Angry red marks marring the pale skin of her neck. Hickeys, mingled with fading bruises from previous encounters. Glaringly obvious. That little milk dog, despite having no direct quarrel with me, kept dancing on the edge of my tolerance, using the bluntest knife to twist in my already shredded heart. I leaned down slowly, my lips hovering near hers, but my voice was venomously cold. Next time you let him leave marks, tell him to avoid this area. You could damage the carotid sinus. It's a quick way to die. Then, I pushed her away. Clara, finally processing the insult, erupted. Ethan, what the hell is wrong with you? Did that little nurse teach you that too? Are you really that disgusted by me? Nausea churned within me. I could almost taste the bile rising. She's a doctor, I corrected tiredly. Graduated from one of the top medical universities in the country. And it's not disgust. It's exhaustion. Silence stretched. Clara lit a slender cigarette, smoking it down deliberately. Ethan, she finally said, her voice low, hinting at a threat, knowing I used to be terrified of losing her. Are you thinking about divorce? Yes, I replied simply. I'm really tired. She froze, the motion of stubbing out the cigarette halting midair. My wallet was tired too. I'd lost count of how much hush money I'd paid paparazzi. The first time was after a car accident. I'd been driving home late after schmoozing. Potential investors for Clara, trying desperately to secure resources for her fledgling career, ended up alone in orthopedics with a fractured leg, waiting for x-rays. Her career was just starting, funds were tight. I remember contemplating going to a cheaper clinic to save money on the surgery. Then, a stranger added me online, hitting me with a compromising photo of Clara and demanding $100,000. The blow sent me reeling. A year later, the memory still brought back the sharp pang in my chest, the way my fingers trembled, unable to hold my bank card steady. This, I thought numbly, must be what it feels like when your heart finally dies. Clara still didn't grasp the finality. You want a divorce, just because of what happened tonight? Yes, I said, looking her straight in the eye. Precisely because of tonight. She reacted with petulant anger, slamming the bedroom door shut, locking me out. We didn't see each other for a week. I threw myself into work. My lawyer began drafting the divorce agreement and handling the asset division. One evening, I placed the completed divorce papers on her bedside table. I consciously ignored the framed photo sitting there, another smiling shot of her and Leo. The evidence of her infidelity, once discovered, seemed to multiply like cockroaches. Find one, and suddenly they're everywhere, breeding rapidly, impossible to eradicate completely. But I was done searching for cockroaches, done playing detective in this low-rent tragedy of a marriage. Pointless. From that day on, I redirected my energy. While ostensibly networking for Clara, I began strategically building connections for myself. A few days after leaving the papers, Clara's mother arrived unexpectedly. She bustled around the kitchen, preparing an elaborate meal. Clara sat at the table, scrolling disinterestedly on her phone. Soft lighting, twilight outside, the aroma of home cooking, a family seemingly gathered. It was the picture of domesticity I had once craved. Why did it feel so wrong now? Ethan, you're back? Mom asked a friend to get you these special lion's mane mushrooms. Make soup with them. They're good for your stomach. Clara's mother smiled warmly, guiding me to a chair, right beside her daughter. What else do you feel like eating? Mom will make it for you. I looked up, meeting Clara's blank stare. Honey, I asked deliberately, could you make me a bowl of noodles? She remained motionless until a pointed look from her mother spurred her into reluctant action. She went to the kitchen and carelessly boiled some noodles. 5 minutes later, a bowl was placed before me, soup splashing onto my hand. A long time ago, after exhausting networking events, I'd come home, often sick from drinking. Seeing me retching, she used to make me noodles. Knowing I disliked fatty meat, she'd meticulously pick out lean pork, shred it finely, add preserved vegetables and chopped scallions, a drizzle of sesame oil. Simple, yet full of care. Even without fancy ingredients, it was delicious. The noodles before me now were undercooked, bland, slapped together, like chewing wax. Having known Clara when she cared, her indifference now was starkly clear. With the stage set, Clara's mother began her plea. Ethan, dear, whatever disagreements you have with Clara, sit down and talk them through. Young people shouldn't give up so easily. Your generation is different from ours. Back then, if a refrigerator broke, we'd try to fix it. You youngsters just want to replace it. That's not right. Ring, ring, ring. Clara's phone shrilled, piercing the heavy silence. Whatever was said on the other end made her jump up abruptly, knocking over a bowl of soup in the process. What's wrong? Her mother asked, startled. Clara's face was grim. Something came up. I have to go handle some business. Before her mother could inquire further, Clara slammed the door behind her, leaving me and the elderly woman staring at each other. Silence descended again. The old woman stood up, poured me a glass of milk, then took my bowl of noodles back to the kitchen to recook them properly. She had always been genuinely kind to me. When we married, both our families were poor. She had insisted on melting down her own meager dowry jewelry to have a simple 5-gram gold ring made for me. It was all she had, offered with genuine sincerity. Can't treat my son-in-law poorly, she'd said. You're my second son now. As an orphan, that was the moment I felt I finally had a home. Eat first, she urged gently now. Especially with your stomach issues, regular meals are important. Drink less alcohol, cough, cough. A violent coughing fit seized her, shaking her frail frame as if trying to tear her apart. Get regular checkups. Take care of yourself, so I can rest easy when I'm gone. Mom, let's go to the city hospital right now. I urged, alarmed, moving to support her. Clara might neglect her mother, but I couldn't. Years of illness had weakened her, yet she still made the arduous journey to visit us. My heart ached for her. She waved a weak hand, gasping for breath. Just then, my secretary sent me a photo. Clara, at a hospital in another city, eating with Leo Yuan. Mr. Lin, I think I just saw Ms. Gu. The accompanying message mentioned Leo had suffered a sudden medical emergency. The photo was blurry, but I instantly recognized the lunchbox. The custom strawberry bear design I'd gotten for her, engraved with our initials. My stomach roiled. The room seemed to spin. The old woman gripped my hand, her voice filled with sorrow. Clara is a good child, Ethan. She's just lost her way for a bit. She remembers all the good you've done for her. She really does. A bitter laugh escaped me. Mom, I asked softly, do you even believe that? A wave of dizziness washed over me. I couldn't stay upright any longer. I collapsed. Just before losing consciousness, I saw a flash of clarity in the old woman's clouded eyes, followed by a heavy sigh. Yes, yes, Clara has failed you. The ubiquitous smell of hospital disinfectant filled my senses again. I dreamt of our 3rd wedding anniversary. Me, unshaven, haggard, standing in a hospital room. Her hospital room after some minor procedure, clutching a knife, sobbing, threatening to kill myself if she dared walk out that door. Even the threat of my own life wasn't enough to hold back a heart determined to fly away. "Ethan, stop being ridiculous," she'd said, her voice cold, devoid of empathy. "We'll have many more anniversaries." The dream shifted. Our bedroom. Strangers sharing a bed. Her back always turned to me, engrossed in her phone, leaving me with only a cold, indifferent silhouette. If she had spared just a few seconds from her flirtatious chats with Leo, if she had feigned concern and glanced back just once, she would have seen the cold sweat drenching me as stomach pains racked my body. That year was my nadir. Everyone saw me as resilient, bouncing back after countless investor rejections, smiling through industry mockery. But in the quiet moments, in dreams, in the jarring awakenings, the repressed pain would surface, sawing relentlessly at my nerves. I was constantly on the verge of breaking. I feel like I can't wake up. Suddenly, gentle fingers touched my forehead, tracing softly over my eyelids, the bridge of my nose lingering near my lips. "Ethan, it's you again." A soft voice, utterly different from Clara's harsh indifference, spoke my name. I fought my way back from the dream, but my eyelids felt leaden. I kept waiting for a message. The voice continued, a playful pout audible. But Mr. Busy didn't even send me an emoji. The rustle of medical charts. Then, an annoyed tone. "Hypoglycemia. Missed meals. And he just had mucosal resection surgery for early-stage stomach cancer. Not long ago." A final sigh, almost a whimper of frustration. Claims he follows doctor's orders. But these follow-up results aren't optimistic either. My eyes snapped open, colliding with hers. Zoe was leaning close, her breath warm on my face. Alarm flashed in her deer-like eyes. She started to pull back, but I reacted instinctively, catching her hand, inadvertently pulling her down onto my chest. The blush that had appeared when I woke deepened, spreading across her cheeks. "I thought, maybe you'd blocked me." I rasped, my voice hoarse, testing the waters. "So I didn't dare contact you. Afraid you'd be angry." Her ears turned scarlet. She quickly opened a simple lunchbox she'd brought. "I made some porridge myself. My taste is usually quite plain. I hope it suits you." The comforting aroma of yam porridge wafted up. My stomach growled appreciatively. "It suits me," I declared before even tasting it. "No surgery today. Saw you were admitted last night." The chief approved 2 days of my annual leave this morning. She held up 2 slender fingers. "My first time off in 6 months." A crucial question dawned on me. Who brought me to the hospital? Zoe stepped out to inquire, returning moments later. An elderly woman called the ambulance. But by the time the paramedics arrived, she had collapsed too. Tests showed a cerebral hemorrhage. Her condition is critical. She's in the ICU. And there's no one listed as her next of kin or visitor. Panic seized me. I tried to get out of bed, stumbling. "Please, save her. Whatever it costs, I'll pay." Clara could be heartless, but I couldn't. Zoe gently pushed me back onto the bed. "Eat first. My colleagues will do everything they can." I couldn't sleep that night. A chilling unease settled over me, a dark premonition. Even when I drifted into a hazy sleep, I saw grim figures in black and white robes wandering the hospital corridors. "Cold?" Zoe asked softly, her hand brushing mine. "A little," I admitted. She lifted the blanket and slipped into bed beside me. "Better." My body went rigid, yet I couldn't deny the warmth radiating from her small frame. She offered me one of her wired earbuds, sharing her music, letting me listen in sync with her heartbeat. "It's beautiful," I murmured, captivated. "Yes, but this singer, Stella Tung, she's not famous at all," Zoe lamented. Stella Tung. The artist Clara had ruthlessly snatched the Best New Artist award from years ago. When the song ended, I heard myself say, "Zoe, I'm 30 this year." "So?" I felt her tense beside me. I sighed. "I don't have the energy you young people have anymore." Zoe visibly relaxed. "You scared me. I thought you were about to reject me." "Age is just a number, Ethan. It just means you've been tied to this world a little longer than me." Having said her piece, she snuggled closer, seeking comfort. But proximity alone wasn't enough. She propped herself up on an elbow, looking down at me, strands of her soft hair brushing my collarbone. "Mr. Lin," she whispered playfully, "I've had my eye on you for a long time." In the dim light, her long lashes cast shadows on her cheeks, her gaze tracing my features with an almost greedy intensity. "We've known each other long?" I chuckled. Surely this wasn't some high school crush scenario. Too cliché. She shook her head. "When I was little, I watched A Chinese Odyssey. Zhixiao Fairy said her true love would be a peerless hero, arriving on a 7-colored cloud. To marry her. I believed it. I just didn't expect my hero wouldn't ride a cloud, but would instead be a grizzled uncle in a blue and white striped hospital gown." "Grizzled uncle?" I feigned offense. Her thoughts seemed to drift. That day, he'd just had a fight with his wife in the hospital room. Looked so defeated, so broken. But the next second, he leaped up and kicked the knife out of an attacker's hand. That medical disturbance incident was all over the news. I was the doctor who almost got stabbed. The medical disturbance? Yes, I remembered vaguely. The night of our 3rd anniversary, after Clara stormed out. I dragged my sick body after her, watching helplessly as she disappeared. The agony, the frustration. Then the commotion in the lobby, a patient's relative brandishing a knife. All my pin-up anger found an outlet. I tackled the guy, pinned him down, maybe got a few punches in. Another male doctor had instantly shed his white coat and joined the fray. How am I a grizzled uncle? I protested, mock-injured. Zoe's laughter chimed like bells. She rested her forehead against my neck. Miraculously, her small presence filled the sterile room with a sense of security. Outside, the night wind rustled leaves from the trees. The North Star seemed to twinkle just outside the window, and the gentle glow of a streetlight cast our intertwined silhouette onto the wall. Even if we were destined to become mere fleeting shadows in the river of time, we could still share this moment under the vast, silent sky. Hurry up and be mine, my hero, she murmured against my skin. Even Zxiao Fairy would be running out of patience by now. The devastating news arrived without warning. Clara's mother, my mother-in-law, was gone. Her heart stopped at 5 a.m., declared deceased at 5:20 a.m. I saw her through her final journey. Mr. Lin, the attending physician, approached me somberly. The patient left a note for you just before she passed. He sighed, handing it over. The message was starkly simple. Live your own life. The final stroke of the last character was unfinished, trailing off. Grief washed over me, so profound it was silent. Tears wouldn't come. I simply sat in the quiet room, staring at the simple gold ring she'd given me, at the thick winter sweater she'd knitted but never saw me wear. She told you to live your own life, Ethan, not torture yourself. If not for Zoe's gentle persistence, I might have forgotten to eat altogether. Through those darkest days, she was my constant companion, her quiet strength a bulwark against the overwhelming tide of pain. At the burial, Clara burst into the cemetery like a whirlwind. Mom, it's my fault. I was unfilial. It's all my fault, she wailed, collapsing. Dramatically before the grave, her cries loud enough for the entire world to hear, ensuring everyone knew what a devoted daughter she was. Something snapped within me. I grabbed her arm, pulling her away. Leave her in peace. Don't disturb her rest. She's my mother. What business is it of yours? Clara shrieked back, her eyes blazing with red-rimmed fury. I fought to control my anger. Yes, what business is it of mine? Yet, who bought her medicine all these years when she was sick? Who took her for annual checkups? Who was with her in her final moments? Who arranged this funeral? After she fell ill, how many times did you actually visit? We agreed on Sunday dinners. How many did you miss? While I was racking my brain trying to find ways to cheer her up, where were you? That last day, she cooked from noon till evening for you. You didn't take a single bite, just gave her attitude and left. She died with regret. Clara, does your conscience rest easy? By the end, my own eyes were burning. Clara's face went deathly white. Her hands clenched, her entire body trembling. Finally, I bit out the words, hard and final. Clara Gu, you don't even deserve to be called her daughter. With that, the last, tenuous thread connecting me to Clara Gu was irrevocably severed. After half a month of seclusion, I threw myself back into work, seeking numbness in routine. Zoe mentioned she loved the voice of the singer Stella Tung. That weekend, I took her to the city's most advanced recording studio, a state-of-the-art facility spanning nearly 600 square meters in the pricey downtown district, complete with 3D sound labs, mixing studios, mastering suites, top-tier equipment, and a perpetually booked schedule. We listened live as Stella recorded tracks for her comeback album. The new song began with a melody steeped in despair, the vocals hovering on the edge of breaking, conveying utter hopelessness yet retaining a core of pride and defiance. Then, the chorus soared. The melody found life, rising with the increasingly powerful vocals, transforming a landscape of ruin into one of spring blossoms, offering solace to hearts long turned to ash. Lyrics by the master, pure gold. Zoe was mesmerized. When the song ended, her eyes shimmered with tears. Despite witnessing death daily at the hospital, she still yearned for life-affirming rhythms. Her innate capacity for renewal was unconsciously healing me. Stella saw me and eagerly removed her headphones. Mr. Lin, what brings you here? I lounged casually on the sofa. Brought a young lady who's a big fan of yours. How's the new album progressing? Young lady? I'm only a few years younger than you. Zoe protested playfully. Stella had struggled for years after losing the award to Clara, reduced to singing in bars to survive, her talent largely forgotten. But last week, my secretary tracked her down. The company offered her a contract, a chance to shine again. Stella signed. Immediately, diving into recording this week. Compared to Clara's past tantrums and diva antics, Stella was cooperative, professional, and incredibly efficient. The album, originally slated for year-end completion, was now 3 months ahead of schedule. Amazing how much brighter the world seemed without toxic baggage. Just then, my assistant burst into the office area adjacent to the studio, face pale with panic. "Mr. Lin, Ms. Gu wants to see you." We couldn't stop her. Before he finished speaking, a familiar figure pushed past him. Clara, reeking of alcohol. She looked haggard, her lips dry and cracked, but her eyes lit up with manic joy upon seeing me. "Ethan, you're finally seeing me? Why haven't you replied to my messages?" Messages? Had she sent any? Oh right. Blocked her after the funeral. My expression remained impassive. "What are you doing here?" Automatically, everyone else in the office tactfully excused themselves, leaving us alone. Clara's gaze fell on Stella leaving, then landed on the documents on my desk. Her eyes widened. "That song. Wasn't that supposed to be mine? Didn't we agree? And why isn't the production team contacting me anymore? All those resources you secured for me, where did they go?" I remained silent. The facts were self-evident. Seeing my silence, panic flared in her eyes. She grabbed my arm, desperately trying to maintain composure. "Ethan, believe me, I truly did have feelings for you once. Can't we just let the unpleasantness go? Our 4th anniversary is coming up soon. Can we celebrate properly?" Her feigned sincerity made my stomach churn. My gaze drifted down to the hand gripping my arm. A slow, cold smile curved my lips. "Is belated affection useful?" I pulled my arm free. "Sign the divorce papers and send them to me. Let's part ways amicably. The ending doesn't have to be ugly." Realizing her pretense was failing, she sneered. "So eager to be with that other woman? Are you really such a heartless bastard, Ethan? Lin, if you're like this, what kind of person could she be? What does she see in you? Your age? Or maybe that you don't shower?" A dry laugh escaped me. "Don't resort to slander. And what does Leo Yuan love about you? Your willingness to walk dark alleys alone? Your cheap availability? Will you crawl into bed with anyone who calls you big sister?" Clara's face darkened, words squeezed through clenched teeth. "Personally, I don't think she's suitable for you." I cut her off sharply, enunciating each word. "Stop with your personal opinions. You're hardly qualified to judge anyone's character. And no matter what, being with anyone is better than being with a cheating, stay-out-all-night tramp." Her rage exploded. She swept the documents off the desk, showering me with paper. "Ethan, do you have to be so cruel with your words?" Images from the paparazzi's unedited videos flooded my mind, graphic, explicit. Nausea rose again. Are my words cruel? The moment you abandoned me. In that hospital room, I discarded my feelings along with you. If you have any shred of decency left, sign the papers. I'll let you keep some face. Fear finally replaced anger. "No, I won't." I shrugged. "Suit yourself. We've been separated for 2 years. It's grounds for the court to grant the divorce anyway." Zoe knocked gently, reminding me it was lunchtime. As I turned to leave, Clara's voice, choked with tears, followed me. "Do you hate me that much? All the endorsements, the resources I signed because of you. Are you taking them all back?" I paused at the door, putting an arm around Zoe's waist, looking back at Clara with something akin to pity. "I don't hate you. Hate is too heavy an emotion. My life, light as a feather, can't bear that weight. Besides," I added coolly, "I'm a businessman driven by profit. I made you famous. I can do the same for Stella Tong, the artist you trampled underfoot for 10 years. Clara Gu, you were never irreplaceable." Her face contorted, first with fury, then with dawning, terrifying insecurity. But I was no longer interested in watching her unravel. Zoe had overheard the divorce discussion. The smile barely left her lips all the way to the restaurant. As a reward, Dr. Ruan magnanimously allowed me to order seafood, something usually forbidden on my strict diet. While waiting for the food, she asked tentatively, "The song lyrics say hate is easier to let go of than love. Is that true?" The question caught me off guard. I'm an intense person. When I loved fiercely, obsessively. When I hated, it meant severance, complete separation. During the entanglement phase, even physical fights ending in hospital visits couldn't make me let go. But once hate set in, it demanded a clean break. No dragging things out, no wishy-washy indecisiveness. But looking back now, I didn't feel the burning hatred for Clara I might have expected. After a moment's thought, I answered, "Maybe. Honestly, I don't want to taste either of those flavors again. Right now, I'm much more interested in the long-awaited lobster." The rich aroma of grilled lobster filled the air. After weeks of bland food, my eyes actually teared up. Zoe lowered her gaze. "Excuse me, I need to use the restroom." I panicked slightly. Did my clumsy answer offend her? How could I make it up? Diamond ring? Gold bars? VIP tickets to Stella Tung's comeback concert? Suddenly, the lights flickered and died. Darkness enveloped the private dining room. Power outage? I instinctively stood up, reaching for the door handle to call a waiter. The moment my fingers touched the cool metal, the door burst open. Surprise! Happy birthday to you. The familiar tune filled the air, accompanied by the pop and shower of a party popper. My secretary, assistant, and a few close friends wheeled in a small dessert cart. As colorful confetti rained down, I saw Zoe, standing slightly apart, carefully holding a gift box. The purple diamond bracelet I'd given her adorned her slender wrist, sparkling brilliantly even in the dim light. "I haven't given you anything yet," she exclaimed, her cheeks flushed. "So, I thought I'd use your birthday as an excuse to fix that." It was the first time anyone had ever made such a fuss over my birthday. Overwhelmed, I let my friends push me towards the cake, urging me to make a wish and blow out the candles. In the flickering candlelight, I saw my own serious face reflected in Zoe's bright eyes. Her joy, her anticipation, were palpable, washing over me like a warm tide. She was clearly hoping for the same things I was. The candles went out. The main lights came back on. It felt like a rebirth. "Ethan, oops, wait, 31 this year. Old man Lin, congratulations on surviving another year." Miss Ruan told us this birthday was important. "We immediately decided to celebrate your escape from the sea of suffering." I held out my hand playfully. "Where are the red envelopes?" They descended into mock brawling. Showing up is enough. Who needs gifts? Talking money ruins friendships. Typical friends. "You knew my birthday?" I asked Zoe, accepting the gift box. Her smile was radiant. "I saw it on your medical chart," she admitted shyly. Made a mental note back then. I froze. So this was what it felt like. Love wasn't hidden in cryptic clues or fragmented conversations. It was present in the small, everyday details. When someone truly loved you, the evidence was abundant, readily available. You didn't have to desperately search for proof. A wave of sadness washed over me for the Ethan of years past, the one who painstakingly tried to piece together shards of affection from Clara's dismissive words. But immense gratitude followed, gratitude for finding someone who, through her actions, big and small, showed me that love itself wasn't the disappointment. Only Clara Gu had been. The path to happiness, however, rarely runs smooth. My lawyer informed me Clara was contesting the divorce, refusing to sign. I spent the entire drive taking Zoe to work, frantically explaining, assuring her. Repeatedly, it wasn't my fault the process was delayed. It was an old habit, ingrained from years of needing to justify everything to Clara to gain her belief. Zoe simply placed a gentle finger against my lips, silencing me, then gave me a soft goodbye kiss. "No need to explain, Ethan. I trust you. I've waited this long for you. A little longer doesn't matter." The city hospital was always bustling. I was there for my own follow-up appointment. Thanks to Zoe's care, my post-surgery recovery was excellent. Unfortunately, fate seemed determined to throw Clara and me together. Leaving the hospital and heading back to the office, I literally bumped into Leo Yuan. My old medical file slipped from my grasp, scattering papers on the floor. Leo picked it up, his voice laced with malicious satisfaction. "Mr. Lin? Stomach cancer confirmed, is it?" Before I could snatch the file back, Clara, who was beside him, grabbed it. She scanned the pages, her expression shifting. After a long moment, she looked up, her eyes filled with a strange, hopeful light. "Ethan, is this why you wanted the divorce? Because you didn't want to burden me? Have you been reading too many novels?" I scoffed, shattering her illusion. "Do I look like someone who jokes about things like this?" I produced my latest, clean bill of health report, delivering the final, cruel blow. "Sorry to disappoint you. As long as you're still alive, I have no intention of dying anytime soon. Besides, I harbored no delusions that my death would drive Clara to madness. She'd likely shed a few crocodile tears at my grave, then promptly use my money to fund her collection of young lovers, wolf pups, milk dogs, mad dogs, whatever breed caught her fancy. Better to keep the money for myself than feed the dogs. Not only would I live, I'd live better than her. I'd watch her descend into madness, grow old, wither away, and then I'd send the biggest, gaudiest white floral wreath to her funeral. That might finally feel like justice." Clara's face turned ashen, a desperate, wild look entering her eyes. "Fine, then explain these." She threw another stack of photos at me. These were different, more intimate, though still relatively conservative, mostly bare back, butterfly shoulder blades, profile shots. They were the photos the paparazzo took that first night, the ones I paid dearly to suppress. The night I first met Clara. A setup. She was young, naive, lured to a private room by predatory directors who drugged her. I was young too, stormed in, broke up there. Ball game. But I was too late. The compromising photos had already been taken. I bought them later, buried them deep, afraid of hurting her if she ever found out. I bent down slowly, picking up each photo, my expression hardening. Did you really have to make a scene like this? Here. Perhaps my reaction confirmed her suspicions. Her face crumpled into a mask of heartbroken betrayal. Ethan, are you even human? Her voice, trained for singing, was sharp, piercing, cutting through the midday office buzz. We were in a glass-walled conference room. People were stopping, staring. Clara's eyes were bloodshot, tears streaming. That night, I thought you saved me out of kindness. That's why I felt indebted, why I listened to you, worked myself to the bone all these years. You told me to go north, and even if I was at the South Pole, I'd drop everything and run north for you. But you took these pictures? You planned this? Anticipated we'd break up, so you secured leverage to control me? You knew how much these photos would destroy me. Ethan, your methods are despicable, vile. Does anyone around you realize how manipulative, how calculating, how utterly rotten you are deep down? Her accusations hung in the air like poison. The onlookers murmured, speculating. What a masterful performance of twisting the truth, I thought numbly. Weaving a net so tight it could suffocate my reputation while she emerged spotless. I stared at her, watched her dramatic tears without a flicker of emotion. I hadn't wanted to humiliate her publicly. Exposing things like this could end an artist's career. It was the last courtesy I intended to offer. She refused it. Fine. The conference room and the hallway outside were now crowded with curious onlookers, mostly artists and staff from the company. I took a deliberate step forward, my mind icily calm. Clara Gu, I ask you now, did you ever love me? I did. No, you didn't. I really did. I slapped the photos down on the conference table. Loving someone and then choosing to cheat is far more despicable than never having loved at all. When we got married, you swore you'd love me forever. Are promises just empty words to you? Because I took them seriously. Turns out, your forever lasted only 3 years. Regrettably, the you who made those promises is effectively dead to me now. If I had known then what kind of person you truly are, I wouldn't have given you a second glance that night. I would have let those photos circulate freely. Clara's voice faltered. What do you mean? Seeing her stunned confusion, I delivered the final blow. My email inbox contains plenty more evidence of your affairs. High definition. And censored. How much would you like to see? The paparazzi contacted me again yesterday. This time, I have no intention of covering for you. All that money could buy Zoe a new car. She hated squeezing onto the crowded bus for work. Clara's knuckles turned white as she gripped the photos, nails digging into her palms, drawing blood. So, you knew all along. Seeing her frozen state, I leaned in close, whispering like a demon at her ear. By the way, you might want to look into Leo Yuan's finances. That entertainment magazine, known for breaking major scandals? He holds a 30% stake in it. So, who do you think really arranged for those photos to be taken? That last sentence shattered her completely. Beside her, Leo Yuan's face turned sickly pale. He swayed, stammering. Ethan, don't slander people. I couldn't be bothered arguing with him. This doesn't concern you. Does a little bottom-feeder fish think getting a taste of seawater makes it seafood? Clara's hands trembled violently. She covered her face, a sound emerging that was half sob, half hysterical laugh. Her sanity frayed. The physical pain was nothing compared to the soul-crushing despair threatening to consume her. Yet, she couldn't faint, forced to endure the agony as it spread limitlessly. As I turned to leave, she suddenly lunged, grabbing my legs, clinging desperately. Ethan, don't give up on me. I was wrong. I was so wrong. Her words were fragmented, her mind clearly breaking. My expression remained cold, impassive. I pried her hands off, signaled my secretary to handle the situation, and walked out. In the hallway, I ran into Stella Tong. Stella, do you think I'm calculating, manipulative, and deeply scheming? She gave me a thumbs up. Nope. You're a good man. Me. Most people in the company were loyal and discreet. News of the confrontation didn't leak internally. External events, however, were beyond my control. Having ignored the paparazzi's latest demands, they unleashed their arsenal. Clara's scandals exploded online. Her carefully crafted image imploded. Weibo, the social media platform, became a wasteland of accusations. Fake single persona hiding multiple affairs. Fake innocent image masking frequent nightclubbing. Fake, diligent image contradicted by reports of unprofessional behavior and diva tantrums. The entertainment industry is notoriously fickle. Kick someone when they're down, cheer for their misfortune. In the following days, producers, collaborators, and industry insiders piled on, leaking more damaging stories. The talented newcomer crashed and burned overnight. The fallout was predictable. Her tarnished reputation caused significant losses for the company. Endorsements, contracts, appearances, all canceled. She faced astronomical breach of contract penalties. Of course, one's own failure is terrible, but the success of a rival can be even more agonizing. Stella Tung, the artist Clara had overshadowed for years, made her comeback. Her new song, and upcoming concert, generated unprecedented buzz. The massive wave of positive attention brought significant profits to the company, more than recouping the fortune I'd spent on paparazzi payoffs over the years. Mr. Lin, your ex-wife attempted suicide. Slit her wrists. My secretary's voice was calm over the phone. She was saved. Now she's demanding to see you. Are you going? At that moment, I was standing outside the hospital, waiting for Zoe to finish her shift. Me, seriously? I have a wedding photo shoot tomorrow. Secretary, understood. After years of a secret marriage, I'd never experienced wedding photos or a proper ceremony. Now, facing it with Zoe, I felt like any other first-time groom. Awkward, excited, slightly clueless. During the photo shoot, the photographer frowned. Groom, are you two unfamiliar with each other? Turning to Zoe. Bride, did you hire a stand-in? Zoe and I exchanged glances. My expression probably looked like I was examining a scientific specimen. Hers likely mirrored it. Okay, get closer then. Kiss, the photographer directed. Make up for the kiss we missed at the bar. I teased Zoe under my breath. Shameless, she retorted, her ears turning pink again, but she rose onto her toes. Looking into her eyes, clear, dark irises like pools of spring water, I felt momentarily lost. It was easy to drown in that gaze. Yes. Hold that, the photographer yelled, snapping furiously. Afterwards, reviewing the shots, he beamed. Perfect. One photo captured Zoe leaning against my chest, looking up at me. The lighting was soft, slightly hazy, but perfectly illuminated. The sparkle in her eyes and the deep, tender smile playing on her lips. That subtle intimacy, like the electric shock of accidentally brushing hands, was captured perfectly. I tipped the photographer generously. He was ecstatic. Boss, you're too kind. Here's my card. Call me for your next wedding. Wedding. Shoots, divorce shoots, banquet coverage, infidelity surveillance, funeral photography, full service, satisfaction guaranteed. Me. When the finished album arrived, I spent a long time looking through it, then closed my eyes, absorbing the feeling. Zoe waved a hand in front of my face. Need Doraemon's memory bread? Eat a slice and remember the whole picture forever. I reached out, pulling her close against my chest. I'm not memorizing, I murmured. I'm deleting. She poked my chest playfully in protest. I caught her hand, smiling softly. Deleting old memories. It's a form of liberation, because it pointed towards a complete, untainted rebirth. The end.